He's gonna game. He's gonna Viking. He's a big Viking. He thinks he's awesome.
Hey everyone, this is me, the Undead Viking. I'm here to talk to you about these guys. These are poker chips, and these are official BoardGameGeek.com poker chips. This is something that I've wanted for quite a long time. I'll explain that in a little bit. I got these, and I told myself I own several different sets of poker chips. I'm gonna guess 7 or 8 different sets, more than I need, right? And I told myself I wouldn't get any more, but when they announced, just totally took me by surprise, they announced that BoardGameGeek, the BoardGameGeek store, was going to be selling these. I had to have some, and yeah, I mean, just because of the fact that one, they're BoardGameGeek chips, and two, I couldn't get them the hard way. That makes any sense. But hey, you'll learn when I talk about these and talk about how awesome they are. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. All right, so here we go. These are the official BoardGameGeek poker chips. Now, the people at BoardGameGeek were kind enough to send me these because I inquired about them, and they were like, hey, why don't you just have some? And I was like, hey, that's really cool of you. But so I just want to let you know that up front, that I did get these as a gift. These are just like I've done a lot of research on poker chips because I kind of did a deep dive into the hobby of collecting poker chips a few years ago. As I said, I've done a video for them before. I'll put a link for that in the description of this video. You can go check that out if you want. So I'm not going to do a huge dive into the history of poker chips or how they're made or anything like that. But I am going to touch on a few things. So these are... there's one of the things that jumped out at me as soon as I saw them was obviously the indent, the description on the border actually says BoardGameGeek. I thought that was really cool. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted these was because every year at BGG-Con they have a poker tournament, and at that poker tournament, if you won the whole thing, you got a set of official BoardGameGeek poker chips. Now, these aren't exactly the same as that. I believe because the company that was making those poker chips either went out of business or just doesn't make custom chips anymore. But I can tell the person that runs BoardGameGeek-Con, this guy named Jeff Anderson, really nice guy, I could tell that I'm guessing, I guess, that he had a hand in the design, just because I know he's a poker player himself, and I know that he originally had those original chips made. One of the big differences between the chips that were used in that tournament and these is the ones in the tournament did not have a metal slug in them. These all have a metal slug in them. Now you're obviously saying, what's that? Well, so these weigh about 13, 14 grams a piece, whereas the ones that don't, poker chips that don't have a metal slug, they'll weigh right around 8 or 9 grams. And I'll talk about the weight of the chips here in just a little bit, so I can touch on a few things there. One of the things I really like is that these are very standard colored as far as the denominations go. What I mean by that is that in most poker chip groups, blacks will be 100. Greens are 25 or 20. I'll talk about denominations after a little bit. I'm going to touch on that because these are all the denominations that are available. But 10s are blue, reds are 5. So yellows are 1,000, purples are 500. Those are all the standard. If you tell somebody, oh, I had 4 purples left, they know you had 4 500s left. I mean, that's just kind of a very, very normal coloring and progression that they have. Speaking of progression, there is no progression of the edge spots on these. Now, I do really like the edge spots. I like the dual colored edge spots where they have the stripes outside, the main color. So I really like that. I really I really like this black. Of the chips, these are the ones that really stick out for me. I really like the blue and red. It just really pops for me. And then up next would be the purple. I really like the light blue and the white stripe for the edge spots. Now there's no progression. Sometimes you'll have poker chips that'll have like the ones will have only like 2 edge spots, and then some will have 3, and so on and so forth. There's no progression, which is no big deal. I actually don't really like progression, me personally, with edge spots. I like having a uniform kind of thing. While I'm talking about colors, I should mention that I really like how like these colors aren't muted in any way. A lot of times you'll have poker chip collections or poker chip sets that'll have colors that'll be muted or like pastel or something like that. Not this one. This I mean this yellow. I mean it's just neon in the look, and I like that. I there's just something about this is that it's just not afraid to just be the color. The blue too, and like really kind of just explodes out of the chip, which is something that I like. I will say this, that I was trying to like pick at like so sometimes like the inlay, the thing in the middle, it will be like a sticker, and I think these are. I didn't pick really hard to try to get one loose because I didn't really want to screw up one of my chips, but I got 600 of these. I went through all of them. Real good quality control. There were no screwed up stickers or inlays on any of them. Sometimes that is a problem with some chips that you'll get. So, and just because the 600 that I got didn't have any problems doesn't mean that there's a possibility that could happen. I mean, when these are manufactured, it's just something that can happen. But I was really impressed that there wasn't any problems. There's usually 1 or 2. As far as the manufacturing process, these are extremely, like I said, with the metal slug, they have a weight to them. They have some friction. There are no spinnies. So like I can sit there and go like this with all of these, and there's no free spinning chips. If you don't know what I mean, cheaper chips, like chips that are manufactured by like second-rate companies, second-rate manufacturers, they won't have a flat chip, like a completely flat chip. What they'll have is like they'll get chips that have raised centers, and so when those chips are resting on other chips, like there's just like a really tiny point of friction where they're actually resting. They aren't resting flat, and so when you spin them, they'll actually like spin like a top. Like you can just do this and you can leave your hand and then they'll sit there and spin and spin and spin and spin. If you have any of those like cheap poker chips that you may have gotten for Christmas sometime, somebody gave you a poker chip set like from Walmart. If you take those out, you're going to find some spinnies in there. You're not going to find any spinnies with these at all. One thing I will note is that I know that like, okay, so like there's different qualities of chips, and like these are, in my opinion, these are like that above average level of chips. These aren't like a top level chip that you're going to purchase by any means, but these are like in that like solid B plus range. You can see, if you look on some of the chips, you can see like, you can kind of see that little white dot there. Maybe you can't see it. You can see the injection spots where the chips are made, where like they have the mold and they basically inject the plastic into it, and like, just so you know, there is no such thing as a clay chip. Chips will be marketed as clay, and there probably is like a very small percentage of some sort of clay polymer in there, but true clay chips just don't exist. It's just not a thing. Clay chips would just break. I mean, it's just that's the case. I mean, like here, for example, here's like some China clays that I have. These are Majestics. These are very standard. I mean, these are like, I would say that these are in like the same category as these chips as far as like the quality control and everything. Like maybe a step or two above, but these chips will run you about 50 cents a piece, depending upon where you find them. Whereas these, you for $8, you'll get a sleeve of 25 of them. So that's like 32 cents a chip. That's exactly 32 cents a chip. So Am I doing the math correctly? It's 32 or 34. Well, it's one of the two. Regardless, these are a more affordable chip than Majestics. While I have the Majestics out here, I might as well show you. It's like there is, like a purple, a yellow. The yellow is 1,000. The black is this. But here, look at this. For that matter, it's like these are my go-to travel chips, right? These are like, because of the fact that these do not have a metal slug in them, so they weigh around 8 to 9 grams a piece. Whereas these chips weigh about 13 or 14 grams. These are going to be my play-at-home chips. When I have poker tournaments, when I'm able to let people be in my house again, these are the poker chips I'm going to play with. Because lugging 600 chips that are 14 grams a piece, whereas in comparison to lugging 600 chips that weigh 9 grams a piece, that adds up really quickly. So I wouldn't want to carry these, carry a 15-pound case around with me, bringing these around. So that's not the case. But I want to point out something here. These are like my go-to chips for travel, and like as far as, but look how like less bright these colors are. And in comparison to the ones that are out here, and it's all a matter of taste, right? But I really like these. I mean, these are chips I really like, but I mean, man, the colors on these are just so much like more there, I guess, if you will. So things I really like about these, you can tell that they lay flat, and that the edges are good because that. I mean, it's like you can rest these; they aren't coming over. They have a nice, strong edge and a crisp bevel to it. Like this is like not. I mean, it's not perfect 90 degrees or anything like that, but obviously I'm able to rest it in there. It doesn't want to go anywhere. It doesn't want to do anything. As far as like all my little poker chips, I can shuffle these just fine. Yay, are you impressed? I can shuffle poker chips. I can shuffle these just fine. I can take these out, and I can, let's see if I'm better at this. This one I'm better at left-handed. The get the two chips. Oh man, there we go. Left-handed, I can do this so much better because I do that with my chips, and I have my cards on the right hand. But anyway, regardless. So as far as if you're a poker chip person, these work wonderfully. They have good grip on them. You can do your thing. These are, as I said, these are like a B+, trending into the A- level of chips. If you've never bought a poker chip set before, this is something I think that if you want to have a poker chip set and you are like a board game person, these would be an excellent choice for your set. And like literally you'd only need one, right? You need like and you can go online, you can find out how many chips do I need if I want to play poker with 8 people or 10 people or whatever, and you can figure out how much you have to purchase. But that's easy enough. And you can go to any like Amazon. You can find lots of different options as far as chip cases go to be able to carry them around. Now, I do want to say one other thing, and this isn't me to brag or anything. So this is my top end chips. I don't usually use these very often, just because I have several of these, and this was kind of a birthday gift to myself several years ago. This is like a Rounders replica chip. These are like the Teddy KGB chips. These like purple, remember, look, purple is 500, black is 100. So you can see like they carry those very well. A couple things about this. These have dollar amounts on those on for the denominations, whereas these don't. Some people like to have denominations on them. Some people don't want to have those on there. That's just personal preference or what have you. These are, like, as I said, these are extremely expensive. They're made by like the only poker chip company that actually can sell casino quality poker chips to civilians, because they make poker chips for casinos, and then they make like basically civilian chips as well. These are, I mean, like as far as like the bevel edge is incredibly like 90 degrees. They are, I mean, you can't get, as far as quality goes, you can't get any better than what you'll get as far as like this and the other poker chips that company makes. But and so like in if I wanted to like do grades, like those are A+, right? And then these are like like A's, and these are like A-, B+ chips. And for the price that you're gonna pay for these, they can't be beat. I was looking online and I couldn't find anything with this quality. I could find worse ones for like 20 cents a chip, and I could find like worse ones for 40 cents a chip, and with these being priced at 32 cents or 34 or whatever, these are supremely good, and just a really, really high quality chip for the price that you're getting. And and totally, like, if you're a board game person, this is really going to fit the theme of board game night or whatever. Now, if I had to have like two extremely minor complaints, and I mentioned the denominations earlier, and that's what I'm going to talk about here. So there's like, I have denominations that I prefer to have, and when I don't see them, I get a little annoyed. And that's just what it is. Maybe they'll add them later, and I'll get them later as well. I like having, notice how these 25s have the dot at the end, right? That's to tell you it's $25 and not 25 cents. Now, there's nothing stopping me from saying the greens are 25 cents. I can just say that when I'm playing the game, and say they're 25 cents when I'm playing poker. A lot of times when we play cash poker, we'll play like 50 cents, $1 blinds. Not that we play for money. It's all fun bucks, right? Anyway, but we'll play 50 cents, $1 blinds. And so having a 50 cent like chip or a 25 cent chip goes a long way towards making poker night easier for me. It's not like, and like, you can easily make those. But there probably isn't a lot of demand for them. And how do you make a bunch of those or whatever? The other thing is that I like playing higher end poker tourneys, and there are certain like times when you want to have a higher end chip. So like, there's no $2,000 chip, and there's no $5,000 chip. $5,000 chips usually are brown. $2,000, I forget what color they normally are. But there's no $5,000 chip yet. But if they added one, I definitely would get a couple of sleeves of those for the times when we were going to play a big tournament or what have you. There also isn't, and this is a very, very specific complaint, there isn't a $20 chip. And that's really kind of a real minor quibble. When I play cash game poker, though, having a $20 chip is really easy, so people can just, if they show up late at the table and you've already got, a few $100s worth of chips on the table, and somebody shows up and they want to like buy in, and then they can just, they can put their money on the table, and you can just give them $20 chips, and then people can start, like, they can trade them with the other people at the table. Like, hey, give me some of your ones, give me some of your fives, so I can I'll give you this $20 chip. It's a real minor complaint. It's really not that big of a deal, but it's one of those things where if they had it, it'd be super cool. Ultimately, these are fantastic chips. They're awesome. I am buying a birdcage for them. A birdcage is, because I got 600 of these, I'm buying a birdcage. A birdcage is like a plastic, if you type in birdcage poker chip case, you're going to see what it looks like. Basically, it's a kind of a see-through plastic cage that has racks inside of it that'll hold 600 chips, and you can pick them up off of Amazon for like $25. And so I've ordered that, and that should be here soon. So I'm gonna be able to put all of these in there, and I'm gonna be able to put it off to the side in my poker, my poker area, my gaming area. And the next time I have people over, I'll be able to play. So there you go. Thanks again to the people over at BoardGameGeek, and obviously to Scott Alden and for Jeff Anderson, for their awesomeness and making sure I got these. And if you have any questions about poker chips or anything, by all means, go ahead and ask away. I'll put if you want to get these yourself, I'll go ahead and I'll put the link down in down in the description of the video as well, and you can go check those out. Just so you know, like I said, I'm not getting any money back if you go and buy these. I'm not getting a kickback or anything like that. But like I said, they were nice enough to send me these chips, and and I really appreciated that. And I hope that you've taken a look at these and you think they're pretty awesome, and you'll go get some yourself. All right, until next time, thanks for watching.